Hello everybody and welcome back to this week's Crafternoon tea. I hope you had fun last week making your poppy wreath and this week we've got something for the garden. I know it's not the normal time of year where you'd be out in your garden, but we can make this ahead ready for better weather. So I've made this little bird feeder out of lollipop sticks. So it's got a little roof on it and then you can put your bird feed in there and then the little bird can sit on the little latch at the end. Okay, so we'll need some lollipop sticks. You can either have coloured ones like this, but today I'm going to show you how to make it with just plain ones that you'd have around the house. So you'll be able to see everything step by step that I make. So all you'll need is some lollipop sticks. You can buy them in packs of 100. It will take quite a few. And some PVA glue. You might need a glue gun a little bit, or if you've got lots of patience, you can stick with the PVA glue. It's entirely up to you. So for the base, we'll start in this bottom section here. So we're going to make the base, okay? So what's the best thing to do is to lay out 2 lollipop sticks, the distance apart of 1 lollipop stick. So when we pop it down, it will be the width. So this will give us the base. We want a little bit of overhang. As you can see, it's hanging over a little bit there. I'll hold it up in a minute so you'll be able to see. And then we're going to go all the way along until we reach the other end. So I've counted it's about 11 lollipop sticks and then 2 for either side, and that will give us our base. So I'm just going to use some PVA glue. So I'm going to use a paintbrush, but you can use whatever you want. Probably got something laying around the house that you can use. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to dip a little bit of glue on each end. So bit this end. You don't want too much, otherwise it will end up slipping everywhere. And a bit that end. Okay, and then I'm going to put it down onto the lollipop sticks that are already there for our base structure. So it will be quite slippery because that's the nature of PVA glue. I'll hold it up in a minute when I can, and then you'll be able to see. But it's good because you can keep moving it. So you want to keep it quite straight, otherwise you have a slanted base, which will then give you a bit of a funny structure. So we're going to go all the way along. So we'll have 11 sticks. Yours might be different depending on what size your lollipop sticks are. I've bought these ones because that'd be a lot of ice creams to be eating otherwise. Pop those ones down too. Just keep making sure you need them quite close together. You don't want any gaps because it will keep it stronger this way. Just give it a gentle press down when you put it down. So it will take quite a while to dry as well, so maybe pop it near a radiator just to speed that process up. Not all lollipop sticks are straight like this one, so you may get a slight little gap where it's bowed, but that's nothing to worry about. Just try and keep them as close together as you can. You can use a glue gun as well, but just be mindful because it will be quite hot. You don't want to burn your fingers. So we are nearly finished our base layer. good thing is it dries quick, but not too quick that you can change any areas. So if you realise that you've gone a bit wonky, you can go back and move it. There we go. So I'm actually going to leave it at this. I did still have one extra to go, but I'm just going to leave it at this because it's got quite a nice little gap on each end. So just lift it up and you'll be able to see now. So you see where I've got a little gap on each side, and then if I flip it over, I don't know how confident I am in this, you'll be able to see there's a little ridge on each side as well. Okay, so that's your base. Pop it to dry. So just leave it to the side for now. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the roof next, because again it's a similar format, so we don't want it to be sliding everywhere. We want it to be quite dry by the time we're ready to use it. So we've got 2 panels, and it's made up exactly the same really as the base. So again, I've got my lollipop sticks. I'm going to keep them the distance apart of a lollipop stick. There we go. I'm going to use my PVA glue again, and it's exactly the same technique. We're going to dab each side, and then hopefully this will be drying while we build up our base, and we'll be able to put it together a lot sooner. So we again want a little bit of a hang, but not as much this time, so we probably will use all 11 this time. Because we don't want it to look as messy. Again, keep them nice and close, because you don't really want gaps. So we're just going to keep going along until we've filled up the rows here. And then what we can do is we can leave them to dry. And whilst they're dry, maybe put the kettle on, have a cup of tea. It's good because it's a craft that will take you a bit longer today, so it will break up your day a bit more as well, if you're looking for something to do. Don't know if you can hear the sound of the mixer in the background. My mum's obviously cooking something in the kitchen. That's the joys of doing virtual activities from home, isn't it? It's chaos everywhere. I think everyone's experiencing that at the moment as we move into a new way of working and living. So just make sure you gently push them down as well. So we've almost finished the first roof panel. And luckily I'm sitting near a radiator, so it's quite warm. So hopefully they'll dry a lot quicker this time. Perfect, so there's one roof panel complete. And again, I'm just going to leave that to dry. And we'll come back to it in a second. And then we've got one more roof panel to make. So we need 2 roof panels and 1 base. And then it will start to come together and you'll get to see your birdhouse taking form. So again, we're just going to go all the way along until we fill the length of our lollipop sticks. And then the base should be dry enough for us to start building it up as well. If you don't have coloured lollipop sticks, you could always paint it after as well. You could add a bit of personality to it. It doesn't have to be block colours either. You could paint little things on there, little ladybirds or little birds or butterflies or whatever you want to make it fit in with your garden theme. Okay, so the final roof panel is complete. Be very gentle when you lift them because they'll be quite slidey still. So we have 2 roof panels and 1 base made. So I'm going to bring the base back now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it around this way. So we're going to have the 2 lollipop sticks facing up. Okay, so what we'll do now is we're going to build up the base. As you can see, they're not exactly perfect, but it's good enough. Yeah, so it should be fairly dry now, or in the process of drying. So what we're going to do is we're going to build it up. So we're going to add lollipop sticks in opposite directions, and then we're going to keep leveling it up as we go. Okay, so we're going to have 2 this side, and then we're going to have 2 the other way on top, and then we should get a bit of a base going. So again, same process. We're just going to dip a bit of glue each side, but we're not going to go all the way along this time. We're literally just going to do 2 at either end. Okay, so we'll keep it in line with the first lollipop stick that's laid down. I'm going to do 1 this side too. So you won't be able to see much at the moment because it hasn't really got much momentum, but we've gone that way. And now we're going to go along the tops here. Okay, so we're just going to keep building it up until you think you've got a big enough base to put your bird feed in, because this is where the birds will actually come and get their food. So we're going to go like that, and you'll soon start to see it get a bit of growth on it. So just going to keep going opposite ways each time. So every time that you go that way, the next level will be this way. It gives it more form and it gives it more of a solid base, because if you go in the same direction, you'll still have gaps, so it keeps it stronger. So can you see we're starting to get off the ground now? We've got a few levels up, almost like a little palette. So because I've gone this way, we're now going to go this way for our next layer. You will get a little bit messy. It's always the way of PVA glue, isn't it? So 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom, and then we're going to go to the next side. I've just run out of lollipop sticks. I'll grab a few more. So we're probably about midway up now. So you can make your decision. You can either pop your little ledge in now, so it will hang over a little bit. Oh, you can see it's all gone a bit skew if that's what happens with PVA glue. It's not set yet. So we'll just push it back and it should all go back into shape. Perfect. So you can either put your little ledge in now, which will probably make it stronger. So I'm going to put mine in now rather than put it in at the top at the end. So I'm just going to dab a little bit of glue so it can fit onto the end there. It's literally just going to hang on. Oh, I've put it in the wrong place. Maybe this time it'll be easier to put it on the actual ones that are already down. Okay, so I'm just going to literally let it touch the tip of the edge and over. Doing it this way will give it a bit more strength for when you want to, your little bird wants to go on it. So I'm just conscious of lifting it up too much because I think it's all going to fall apart. Ooh. But you can see that the ledge is now on. I've gone a bit too close there, haven't I? You can see the ledge is now on. So we're going to continue. So we're going to go along the tops again, always the opposite of the way that we've gone before. Ooh. And our birdhouse is now taking a bit more form. So don't worry if you get things wrong or you do them the wrong way in a turn. It doesn't really matter. It's just that we go opposite ways to give it the structure. So this one will sit a little bit funny because it's got that bit in the middle of the ledge, but now that should be secured in, so it shouldn't go anywhere. Oh. PVA is always a little bit slippery, isn't it, while it's drying? So we're just going to keep going up a few more levels. We don't want it too high, because you've got to think of the little birds that want to get in there too. Okay, so I'm probably going to do another round each side, and then I think that will be my little bird feeder ready. Okay, so 2 more sticks. And then we are done. Perfect, so you can see it's definitely gained a bit of height there. So what it will look like in the middle is like this. So your little ledge should go all the way through the middle. But we've got some good shape on that now, so we'll be able to put our bird feed in there soon enough. Okay, so we should have we need to bring back now our 2 ledges, our 2 roofs, sorry. So we've got both the roofs and we're going to put them on like this. But this is where we will probably need our glue gun. The glue gun will give it a bit more strength than PVA glue, because as you've seen it's quite slippery. So I'm just going to plug my glue gun in to let it set up for a minute. But what we need now is we need 4 posts that we can then attach our roof to. And then we'll need 1 more for the middle. So the roof will go, if I just move this over a sec, you'll be able to see better. Very fragile where it's wet. So we'll need to put one of these in the middle, along the ledge, like that. And then we can move it out. So this will be quite a fiddly bit, so expect to get quite messy here. So we'll just leave that while it dries over here. And this is still heating up, so so we'll have them both like that, and then we'll attach the poles along the bottom like this. So give it a little roof. You don't have to have a roof, you can just leave it as the base. It's entirely up to you, but I think the roof gives it a little bit of character and it makes it look more homely. Don't play with your wet ones, your wet base too much, otherwise it will keep slipping. I've just knocked it off a little bit, so I'll just give it a bit more glue, just to be sure. There we go. I'm just going to pop this near the radiator so it'll dry a little bit quicker, and hopefully it'll be ready by the end of our video so we can put it all together. Okay, is the glue gun hot enough yet? I think so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, you can see there's like the edge of the lollipop stick here, this top one. So I'm going to put some glue along the top. Not too much, but just enough to secure it in its place. And I'm going to put my little edge between. I'm just going to hold it for a sec to make sure that's glued on securely. Don't push too hard because my roof has just buckled. So we need a little bit of emergency surgery there, but we'll get that back on track in a sec. Ooh. There we go. I'll come back to that bit. Okay. And then we need to do the other side as well. So you've got to figure out how wide you're going to want it, because you don't want to end up with one like this and then you can't put it out. So actually maybe we should bring back this bit and start to attach the posts. Otherwise we might end up with a roof a bit too small for our bird feeder. So what I'll do is I'm going to stick it along the side here, so it will be flush here with this side. So we're going to stick it flat. Okay, so I'll put a little bit of glue on the bottom, and I'm going to hold it in place just while it sticks together. So your bird feeder, where mine's not dry, it will move a little bit, but I've got it mainly in the right place now. So we're going to do that in all four corners. Make sure it's upright as well, so it doesn't go wonky. It doesn't matter if it's wonky, it just makes it a bit easier if they're straight. So we've got those two there. And then we're going to go around and do these two here. So these will be all of your lollipop sticks now that you need. You won't need any more. So one in that corner. And one in this corner. Perfect. So we've got all four of our bases up. Can you see? Perfect. So this is where it's going to get a bit fiddly, and this will be the toughest part probably. So what we need to do is we're going to need to glue them. So I'd probably glue them at the top bit here, if you can see, because that will give it the best structure. So not too crooked, and then we can add this one on after. So we'll go like that. So we know that we want it roughly where it meets those points. Okay, can you see? It's going to be a bit wonky because of the nature of the materials, but we'll get there. So I'm going to go along the tops here, again like I did with the last one. Not too much glue, otherwise you're really going to burn yourselves. There we go. Okay, so make sure you've got it at an angle that you want. See how we've got one stick in the middle? Perfect. Okay, so now we just need to attach our roof to the posts. So how's the easiest way to do this? I think the easiest way will be to leave that standing like that for a second and dollop the glue on the inside. The good thing is you're thinking as you go, you have to adapt with these crafts. So I'm going to put a big bit of glue on the inside. I'm going to do all 4 because otherwise I won't be able to get back in there after. Oh, and some of that glue just dripped back down, so be careful you don't burn yourselves. I'm just going to go for it. There we go. So I've got the glue lined up. It's really just trial and error with this bit, but just be mindful that your bird feeder is quite fragile. Perfect. So now it's all glued together, leave it to dry. And there we have one, oh, it's a bit wonky, but one little birdhouse made out of lollipop sticks. So, oh, it's dripped down a bit, that's why. So just make sure you try and hold it in place so that you don't get a lopsided birdhouse. Perfect. Okay, so there we go. And you've got your little ledge, pop your bird feed in there and you're ready to go. So this is it in colour. Either way you can have your ledge, and this is it in a natural tone. So enjoy. Let me know if you make any of these crafts and tell me how you get on. And fingers crossed you'll get a few little birds in your garden having a little feast from the lollipop bird feeder that you made. Have a good week, guys, and see you next week. Bye for now.